enough roughhousing. Let's build this doghouse. Okay, space crew, it's time to find the building materials.
Think we could use those space rocks, Marvin?
Most definitely. And metals from the ground if you dig.
Oh, I dig.
It's so great to have you here, Chandni, as you are the voice of Lola Bunny, and I feel like you embody her in spirit as well. You play Lola Bunny on Bugs Bunny Builders, and that is younger demographic and aimed at preschoolers and kids learning the value of sharing, caring, and just, overall celebrating life and enjoying and growing. And I'm so thrilled to have you. First of all, how are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for having me, Jonathan, Savina. It's such an honor that I get to even be a guest on your show. So I'm thrilled that you guys even invited me. Thank you.
The pleasure is ours. And I just wanted to, reach out and talk to you about this beloved character. She is an icon. She is the first female character within the Looney Tunes that really made a pop, and that was back in 1996 in Space Jam. And I feel like you have really elevated her in the minds of children, especially those that are growing with the franchise. Can you talk a bit about working on this project and what it's been for you to create Lola in this realm of as a architect and as a teammate, a co-lead of the Bugs Bunny Builders team?
Yes, exactly. So it's been such an honor to be on Bugs Bunny Builders. It's such a great show. And yes, like you said, watching her in Space Jam and then just seeing the evolution of her through the different demographics and different renditions has been such an incredible journey to watch her evolution through and her to still keep this integrity that she has of being such a leader and boss and so strong. Like she's just, even in the original Space Jam, she's such a strong character. She knows exactly who she is, what she wants. And playing her on Bugs Bunny Builders, it's so much fun because it is for a younger demographic. So it is very playful and still being co-leader right there with Bugs the same way they were on their basketball team is it's such a cool transition for them to see what other worlds can they be in. And I think Builders just did such a great job of giving them this role of building things together as a team and community, and the entire city of Looneyburg and all the characters that are join us, and introducing them all to this younger demographic is such an honor. It's exactly where I want to be with her. So
that's awesome.
It's been fantastic. It's been an incredible world.
Yeah, and it's so great to see you bring new life to the character, like Jonathan said. What was it about Lola when you came in that inspired you to get really, in there with her and create, your version of the character to, like you said, have a new generation of kids grow up with?
Yeah. So when I saw Lola and I got to see some of the gorgeous art that they had of her, I looked at her just like every other cartoon in a sense, where I'm just like, she's Lola Bunny. She is this iconic character, but she's in the world of Warner Brothers Looney Tunes. She's just a cartoon and a Looney Tune, which is how I feel in the world of animation. I don't just look at myself as female. I'm like, I want to be a toon. I want to play. And I feel like that's exactly what Lola is. She's just another goofy, silly character who has her eyes bug out of her head sometimes and gets her ears tangled up and all the same kind of adventures. She just happens to be female, which doesn't, in my audition, it didn't stop me at all from being as wild and crazy as anyone else in my own voice. And I think the strength in her is something that I kept in mind when I do her voice and her character in session too, is that she is just very strong in her decisions, knows what she wants. We have characters like Daffy who just make me laugh so hard when I hear his lines or read the script and see the silly things he says. And with Lola, she's always goofy and then she keeps the boys in line. And I love that with her because she does get distracted as well. So that's really fun to play on. But yes, it's pretty cool to keep the tooniness of her too.
Totally. I love that aspect too. And something you touched upon was seeing the artwork. The animation in this show is really good and I think underrated as far as a Cartoonito show or something that's on Cartoon Network right now. Regardless what demographic is going for, like they did a really good job of
I mean,
making
we
characters
watch it.
feel- yeah, they make a good
I
job.
know, it's so good. It is.
The characters feel like the characters from Looney
Yeah.
Tunes. And, you know, another aspect of the show that I really enjoy is that you have these different pairings or interactions. So most recently you went to space as Lola Bunny and got to help Canine with his doghouse. How fun was that to read and perform on the day and just get to play with that character in space?
It's so cool. It's so cool to be able to imagine. And Mary Elizabeth Glenn and Ava Dish, who are on the show, and you know, she is the showrunner for it. She is so wonderful about creating the world because I see the script and then as she's directing me, just her creating the entire world. So I feel like I'm here in this booth alone in space. And um, yeah, it's amazing to be reading with Marvin the Martian and such iconic characters in a different world other than planet Earth, which is where I feel like we are all the time, just off on another world. So yeah, that was a really fun episode for us. Yeah, dealing with gravity and, and all the different things that you don't get to play with in everyday roles.
No, so inventive too.
Yes,
The
yes,
whole aspect of it.
yeah.
So working with Eric Bauza and Bob Bergen and you know the entire cast, they really elevate this show. And again, they're pulling from the great roster of voice talent that Warner Brothers has on other Looney Tunes projects. Could you see yourself be Lola in something else down the line, possibly, or do you feel like Bugs Bunny Builders is where you're gonna like make a home?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I've definitely made myself home here in Looneyburg with the Builders, but I would love to continue to portray her in any other rendition they have. I would be honored to. So yes, absolutely. I have my eye out for those.
Well, as a fan, we would love that too. I think that again, the spirit is there, and I think in the long legacy of, it's a short-lived legacy, but the legacy of voice actors that have been behind this character, I think you're in the upper echelon of that. So, congratulations on making this such a well-rounded character and somebody who teaches and inspires kids. I think that is really important in today's, you know, current climate of things, but also just having that as a Looney Tunes show is so great.
It's so great. Yeah, thank you so much for saying that, Jonathan. Yeah, that's very kind. And yes, it's such an honor to be able to wear this hat for as long as I can, because it's, you know, like I said, this is exactly where I'd be. It's my favorite demographic to work with as well and impact. So this has always been my goal. It's wonderful.
I'm curious, you know, we're talking about how like Lola's history is definitely shorter than the other Looney Tunes. I grew up with like Space Jam and Lola in that way. I want to know, you know, like how did animation inspire you growing up in your career path as an actress? And was Looney Tunes a part of sort of like the shows or content that you grew up on that kind of like really informed that you wanted to get into this space?
Yes, absolutely. And it's funny because I've done interviews and I don't just say it. It has always been Looney Tunes and Bugs Bunny that has done it for me. So I was born in Italy. I would spend every summer going to India, and when I was there, it was Looney Tunes that we would get to watch because they would also get shows a lot later. But being in India, watching this American cartoon that was so like, it just made it seem like, wow, look at what they're doing over there. What a world. I want to be part of it. And I never in my life dreamed that I would actually be able to play in this world. So yeah, it was definitely a major inspiration. Bugs Bunny was in my house growing up, and and it was always on if I had the chance to watch it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
As for us too, we both grew up with Looney Tunes and Bugs Bunny was ever present.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I love what fans you guys are as well, because it keeps the legacy alive as well. It's such a great show, and these characters are just legends of cartoons. They are original characters, and they do deserve the kind of respect that you guys are showing. And as far as these are, yeah, they were pioneers in animation, and they're still here today in all their different versions. So it's incredible to watch the evolution. So thank you guys for keeping it alive as well. It's remarkable.
Well, you're welcome. It's our pleasure.
Yes, I love that it's your pleasure because I know it's awesome.
But did you also consider yourself more of like a Warner Brothers, like DC fan, like growing up? Like, because you're also a part of the Batwheel show, which is so exciting because you get to like be a version of like a DC like character, which is so cool.
A villain,
so
no less.
cool. Yeah, it's so opposite Lola because she's just such a nice, friendly girl, and then there's Harley that's just nuts, and I love playing her too. So I love the contrast of them both, but both still very playful, and they just want to have a good time. One just has not as good judgment as Lola.
But I love how you just exude this energy that comes across in the characters. You're having fun with it, but it's also of the world. Like, it makes sense in the world. And I think that your embodiment of both characters is true to what has come before. So I think they did a really good job of handcrafting the show around your voice, if that makes sense.
Yes, thank you so much. That means so much to hear as well. Because yes, I love everybody's version of each character. So I think it does bring to life a lot of, I mean, the demographic. It serves exactly that. So I do like the more playful, fun, free-loving spirit that I feel like the worlds call for when I'm reading the script and see what they're going through. So yeah, a little friendlier.
Totally.
Are there any moments that particularly stand out to you that like you're like inner fangirling that you actually get to perform as either one of the characters?
I love when Mary Elizabeth McGlenn, she reads with me, so she does some of the voices and has fun with them if she's reading like Tweety or Porky or someone. And because we don't get to record ensemble right now, which just bums me out because I would love to be in the room with Eric Bowes and Bob Bergen. But when she reads with me, and I'm like, I can't believe every time I look at a script and I see it's like Tweety, Daffy, but like this is my script. It's outrageous. Yeah, the little jokes that they have, I love all of it. Just seeing Porky stuttering and me, keeping up with him is, it's all. It's all. I still count my stars that I get to be on this show and read with these characters.
Totally. I mean, they are iconic, and having them in this world and, in front of kids and in front of all audiences, because again, this is for all audiences, not just the younger demographic. I mean, that's where they're aimed, but anybody can watch these.
Completely.
And I think that the embodiment of the characters is there. And yeah, I think you elevate what's on the page because it really sounds like Lola. When I close my eyes and think of what Lola sounds like, and I hear you, I think you're right there with them. So
yes, thank you. Yes. It's beautiful to hear. Music to my ears.
Yeah. You mentioned, like it sucks that you can't like do ensemble recording at the moment, but did you meet any of the cast members? Oh, that little sneeze was our little dog Gus Gus.
Oh, Gus Gus. Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. Oh my God, Gus Gus, so cute.
He's good and being quiet, but he had a little sniffle just now.
Oh
but
my God, that's so Gus Gus of him from Cinderella, of course, right?
Yes, exactly.
I love that.
I love both. Disney.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah, like I just wanted to know, have you met the cast members before joining the show, and have you hung out with them like since to kind of like get a gauge of the energy you're working with that you can kind of like envision when you're recording?
Right. Well, it's such a small world in Los Angeles in the voiceover industry, which is really great. But when I got booked onto the show, it was pandemic, so it was 2020. I did meet Bob Bergen on a Zoom, which was really cool. I didn't get a chance to tell him because I was still under NDA, but I'm looking at him like, ooh, we're going to be working together soon. So I was thrilled that I got to meet him that way. I haven't met him in person just yet. Eric Bauza, however, every time I go to session, after session, I'm like, let's go get coffee, let's do something. So I get to see him a little more often. I met him after the show, even though we did know each other through industry, like just social media followings, all of that. And we knew our work and everything. So when I got booked on the show, I definitely told him. And then the first time I met him was after one of our sessions. I said, let's meet. And then we met at a coffee shop. And he's like, nice to meet you. Do you trust me? I'm like, yes, of course I trust you. And he's like, let's go to Warner Brothers. And then we went and saw our billboard across the Warner Brothers anime. And so that was my first time with him, is when we were taking pictures, and we did a whole shoot, because I was like, oh my God, our show is on a billboard. It's insane.
Yeah, like I think I know while you're talking about like the big one on the boulevard where it kind of over the whole thing. Yeah, when that was up, we were so excited.
It was so exciting. Yes, they have a whole Looney Tunes thing up right now for, of course. Yeah,
it's celebrating WB 100. And as far as somebody who's a part of Warner Brothers, what is the legacy of Warner Brothers to you, and like how did that again shape your life and want to bring you into the fold?
I love this 100th year anniversary because they're giving us flashbacks of all these great iconic films that you forget how just impactful these films are for you. So I had no idea until you get reminded of these classic films that, yes, that fully impacted me. I forget that Warner Brothers created so much brilliant work. Everything. It's amazing to see and drive by and see all of the huge billboards they have and TV shows, everything. I can't think of a better, bigger station than Warner Brothers, honestly. That's
definitely.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, and Lola is so well represented in like a lot of the marketing and merch for the 100. Were you a like Looney Tunes like fashion girly growing up? Like I remember in the 90s I had like all of like the streetwear style Looney Tunes stuff.
Yes, I definitely have all of it. I have her, I have her jersey, her bat, all of it. Like, I should wear a little more, but I have so many t-shirts. I have so many animated shirts. I usually wear them to my sessions, and it's great to be able to represent that. Because as a kid, yes, I wore all of these animated t-shirt stuff. I think all of us voiceover industry people kind of worshipped the whole world of Toon. So it's nice to be able to still flex that.
No, totally. And they've been doing a lot of collaborations too, because you have, and I'm hoping Lola gets included, but they have currently Bugs Bunny as Superman and Daffy as Batman statues. And I'm hoping they come out with a Lola as Wonder Woman one. That would be really cool. And just having the world embrace these characters all over again, I think is really important for the legacy of them, but also the franchise and just the iconography of the whole Looney Tunes as a whole. So Lola being there in every step of the way, I think is really important and really cool that they've included her not only in Bugs Bunny Builders, but in, future projects, as well as, Tiny Toons and, subsidiaries of Looney Tunes. So it's just all really exciting. And I mean,
and the theme parks, have you seen like the characters? I know Warner Brothers Abu Dhabi has like a bunch of like Lolas. They had like a DC Lola, and they have like the 100th anniversary. Like
yes. Yeah, I'm so jealous of all that. I definitely have seen it. It's pretty cool. And even when they did their collaborations with a lot of the clothing lines here, I bought a bunch of stuff from Boss, it was a really great collab, and I'm glad they're including her in everything, because she is a staple character for Looney Tunes now. Absolutely. She's not, I think she stands out as one of the main characters, and Warner Brothers does such a good job about making sure that is who she is too. She stands out. She's not just, she's never been a side character. I think she's always been coming, and this is the year of the Wabbit, so we've arrived.
That it is. And I love her can-do attitude. Like throughout all of the iterations, she always has that, I can do something. Like out of the most insurmountable odds, it's always a part of her character to be like, no, I can conquer that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I love some of like we got to we've done like the panel at Comic-Con, which was so much fun. And we've like, just been able to get an early glimpse at like scenes that ended up like being premiered. I know one of my favorite ones this year was definitely the Year of the Wabbit.
Yes.
Like clip with the dragon. It's like, oh, who could be underneath the dragon?
So cute, right? Yeah, they do such a great, the writing on the show is incredible. Writing, the art, it's such a great collaboration of creative minds that go into it. So yeah, they're so funny. They make me laugh, and I'll play them constantly in my background, and every time something different catches me with someone's delivery or some clever line or some sneaky like thing they throw in there.
And you get a lot of puns. There was talking of rough housing and a couple of other dog puns in that dog episode. I just love how they embody the character, but also make it fun and friendly, but also comedic in that way.
Yes, exactly. I love those too. In session, we call them dad jokes. I'm looking for my dad joke where I get to throw in there something silly, like get it. I love those.
Perfect. Well, Chandni, thank you so much for joining us today and spending a little time in Looneyburg talking about all of the characters over there. Do you want to let people know where they can find you online and where they can follow your work?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm very active on Instagram, maybe a little too active, but I post a lot of updates there first. It's Chandni Parekh _, and then that's the same for my Twitter. So Chandni Parekh _.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes,
you
thank
again.
you guys so much. It's such an honor to be on your show. I'm so happy to have met you here like this. So wonderful.
We will
speaking
see you
with
at some animation or convention event soon.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'll make it a point to come in and find you guys if I see you or somewhere where I am. That'd be
Yay.
Of course, you realize this means podcast.